strap yourself in for Keeping It Real with Jack and Raul.
Welcome back, Keepers. This is another episode of your favourite podcast, the podcast that you not only give us 5 stars for, but that you also share widely. This is Keeping It Real with the fabulous Jack Phillips, oh, that's me, and the even more fabulous, not quite, but sort of, Raul Dolan, also known as Gabrielle Dolan.
Right. Look at you. Look at that bloody intro.
Well, you're always bagging me about the fact I don't do the intro. How was that?
I was a little bit passive-aggressive, I thought.
Ooh, toxic leadership right there.
Telling them they better give 5 stars and share it and
They
stuff.
know it already.
They don't. If they're listening, I'm sure they've done it.
Of course they have. Shall we give a shout out to our fabulous sponsor, Wild Duck Creek Estate?
Yes, let's. Wild Duck Creek Estate, they've got some new
Offers.
New wines.
New wines, new blends.
What do you call a new wine when it's a new
luck,
version?
success, happiness, orgasm. I don't know. What do you want to call it? Maybe that's a bit much. Did you know that Liam has been in the US a little while ago?
Doing what?
Peddling the wines.
Right.
They've got a big market in the US.
Oh, right.
He's going to get some big orders coming through. So for the keepers,
so
get
for
in.
keepers, you know what to do. Go to their
wine is
website,
great.
Wild Duck Creek Estate, click on Keeping It Real tab in the top right-hand corner and put in keepers, all lowercase. I'm not going to spell it because you know how to spell it. You're not an idiot. And there's some really good offers, really good offers only for our keepers. So
Absolutely.
get on board.
Hey, I'm a bit excited about this podcast because it's a good one. It came from you. You suggested it, and I think it's awesome. Entering and re-entering the workforce.
Yes. So I've got I thought of this because my daughter Alex is entering the workforce for the first time next year. She's
Alex.
been accepted in a grad program. I mean, she's been working part-time casual.
Yeah,
but
this
you know,
is the career starting now, right?
This is
a
real
big
stuff.
deal. Good on her. And a grad program. She's so clever. Well done, Alex.
And we thought entering and then also re-entering the workforce after you've been away for a while, whether it's a study leave or health issues or looking after kids or whatever.
And people do come and go out of a workforce.
Absolutely.
Particularly women, actually.
Yes.
So I think it's a good one.
Yeah,
really good.
yeah. So we're going to start with entering and the things you can do when you're entering the workforce.
All right, so I'm 22 years of age. I'm about to start my big new career, and I come to Auntie Raul and I say, Auntie Raul, what do I need to do as I enter the workforce?
And I go, well, son, kid,
Daughter.
be a sponge. Be a sponge and soak everything up. So I think one of the things you just need to do, like you come in and you're 20, 22, 23, whatever it is, you're going to know some stuff.
You might be 18.
You're going to know stuff, but the worst thing you can do is you think you know it all. And because you don't know it all.
You don't know what you don't know.
You don't know what you don't know, and take it from 2 old ducks like us. You think you know it all. Did you ever think that? I thought I thought mid-20s I knew it all.
Yep.
And then you get to mid-30s and you go, I was an idiot.
Isn't it odd? Isn't it ironic? The older you get, the more you realise the less you know.
Jack shit.
The less you know.
But I remember being in my mid-20s thinking you know it all, and then I remember being in my mid-30s going, I didn't know it all, but I know it all now. And then I reckon by the time mid-40s you go, don't know what I'm doing. But you realise you keep learning. So it's be a sponge, because what you know is only what you know.
So limited.
Yeah, and you don't know what you don't know. A few weeks ago I caught up with some mates and mates from school. So we've known each other.
Now.
We've known each other, since we were 12, literally,
Yeah.
and we were reminiscing about a time we were in year 11, year 12.
Yep.
So we would have been 16 or 17, and we went on a trip to Sydney. And
For school.
And so because we were the year 12s, we had 2 rooms of 5, so there was 10 of us. And you had to go down to get breakfast, at the hotel, as you do. We were deciding, should you get dressed to go down to have breakfast, or
And that was a serious
should
question you didn't know?
Not only a serious, yes, no. So none of us had been in a hotel room before.
Not at 16
But so
back
what
then.
we did, we discussed it amongst ourselves.
Do you
And
get
we
dressed?
decided, someone said, well, when you're at home and you go down for breakfast, you don't get dressed. So we actually,
Don't tell me you all went down.
all 10 of us walked down to breakfast
In a hotel?
in a hotel in our pajamas.
That's too cute.
And we sat down
And looked around.
And we looked around and we noticed, but then they came over the loudspeaker and said, you cannot be served breakfast. You need in your pajamas.
Oh, no.
And so
over the loudspeaker.
we all, did the walk of shame up the stairs.
At least
again.
you were all together. It wasn't just one of you.
But my point is, we thought we knew.
Of course.
And then
So what should you have done, right?
well, we perhaps should have asked a teacher, maybe.
That's right, or rang down to reception or something.
Or rang someone go down and check if anyone else is in their pajamas. But we were so convinced that we knew what we were doing.
So be a sponge. When you're entering the workforce, don't be afraid to ask.
Yes,
So be curious,
yeah. So
right?
we got 5 C's.
Five C's.
I do like a palette.
You
of,
do
like 5 C's. So the first C we're going to talk about is be curious.
Yeah.
Like literally
Ask questions.
Ask. Listen,
and there's no
listen.
dumb questions. And I love, I've had young people in my teams, I love the fact that they ask questions.
Yeah, yeah.
And I encourage that. Don't hold back. Don't feel that what you're asking doesn't make sense. If it is something you don't know, then the only way to find that out is to ask. And people, it's fully expected. You're going to be asking a lot of questions. And in fact, if you're not asking a lot of questions, something's wrong.
Yeah, that would be if there was a new person that came in and they weren't curious and asking questions, that would concern me.
That would worry me.
What would not worry me at all and what would show amazing initiative if someone's constantly asking questions.
Agreed.
So be curious, and once you ask the questions, listen, and you might ask more questions. The other thing is clarify. And what I mean by that, I still remember some first jobs, especially a work experience job, like you get instructions and then they walk away and you go, what did they say? And I was too scared to clarify and you end up doing the bloody wrong thing. So
that's exactly right. How many times, I mean, I've done this later in my work life, not just in entering, but not really sure what they wanted me to do, but just took a punt or took a guess. Never assume. Never works out well. Wasted all this time, did the wrong thing.
So much maturity to saying, just let me clarify.
Repeat. Absolutely. But also, as a reminder to anyone entering the workforce, particularly if you're young, most people don't communicate well. They are not clear.
No.
So there's a good chance that it's not that you're dumb or that you've missed anything. They've actually not explained something properly. Yeah. So for that reason, rephrase, clarify. It's a good one.
Yep. The other one, and I just thought about this, it's, not just then, preparing, is convey how you feel. So I think what would be really valuable is you're starting in a new job, just get into the habit of going, I'm actually feeling really excited or perhaps, you know what, I'm actually feeling a little bit of overwhelmed at the moment.
And this is telling your leader, your boss or a colleague.
Or your colleague or whatever. But
tell somebody.
Yeah. And
it's actually a really good one.
And do positive ones as well.
Of
at
course.
the end of the week, it was like, oh God, I'm really excited about.
Really happy with
this.
this.
You get asked to come to a meeting to discuss something and, I'm really excited. So I think most people don't do that generally enough in business to talk about how they actually feel.
I wonder whether the younger generations are better at that than us.
I reckon
they've been encouraged to
They're
talk.
much better at it.
They want to tell you every 2 minutes how they feel. Yeah. Righto, move on.
Yeah.
But no, it is a good one. It is a good one, particularly if you're struggling with something.
Yeah.
Or to your point, I'm having a really good time. I want you to know that. Awesome.
Yeah. And I think this comes from a podcast we did a couple of episodes around giving and receiving compliments.
Oh, yeah.
I think it is, first of all, if people say you're doing a great job, like say thank you, that means a lot. So take the compliment, but give them compliments.
Nice.
And it could even be someone spent the day with you explaining how to do something. Maybe at the end of the day saying, oh, thanks for taking the time. I really liked your patience and support. And Jack, thank you. You explained things really well. Thank you.
Yeah, it means a lot. I like that.
Thanks to the team. You've all made me feel really, included. So I think being the role model around giving and receiving compliments could make a really great impression for you. And then the final C, I said there's 5C, is connect with people.
Yes.
And that might be like a mentor.
Go and seek out a mentor.
Ask people to be mentors.
Love that.
Yeah. Really cool these days is reverse mentoring.
Yes.
So
all mentoring's reverse mentoring, Ral. I don't know why it's just a new bloody term. If you are only giving out advice as a mentor and not getting anything in return, then that's on you. You're not listening to somebody or recognising that someone younger can actually teach you something.
Yeah.
So mentoring is very much reciprocal.
Yeah.
I like it. So what are those 5 C's?
So be curious,
be a sponge.
clarify wherever you need to, convey how you're feeling, both, good and positive and negative maybe. Be a role model, compliments. So taking compliments but giving compliments.
Yeah.
And, don't do it in a suck-ass way, but, that's a good – and connect with people. And it could be a mentor. It could be – you could have like for Alex is in a grad program, I'd connect with other grads and then, use each other as a bit of a support network or whatever.
Other.
So,
that's a good one.
Find people you can connect with just beside your immediate team.
I like those. Curious, clarify, convey, compliment, connect.
Yeah.
There's also something else I think that we haven't spoken about, and I guess it's sort of within those 5, but it's that put your hand up, get involved in things, volunteer, say yes to getting involved in projects, say yes to everything. Exactly right. You're young, you've got energy, you've probably got a lot of time, but you want to give a really great impression, but also learn.
Yeah,
so that's one way to do that.
I mean, we often talk about, sort of get good at saying no to things, but I think when you're young and starting out, just
embrace
say
things.
yes to everything.
I agree.
Yeah.
What great advice for somebody entering, particularly somebody young, first time career, entering the workforce? Those are really good.
Yeah.
Good piece of advice.
Get involved. Yeah. Did we talk about like any professional development opportunity offered?
Say yes.
Say yes. Definitely say yes to that.
That's an
say yes to
opportunity.
that.
All right. What about, okay, so I've been away from my role. I've been home with the children. I've had a baby.
So we're re-entering
and
now.
we're re-entering.
Yeah.
Or I've been home looking after my parents and elderly parents. Or I've had a health issue. Or I finished one role and wanted some time off to maybe support my partner or travel or whatever. And now I am re-entering the workforce. So I am a mature adult. I've probably had some years of being in a career. Now I'm re-entering the workforce. What do I need to do?
So I think it's sort of different, but slightly different, but similar.
Agreed.
I think one thing, and because this could be the opportunity where your self-confidence has taken a bit of a hit.
Yeah.
And I know the work I've done with a lot of people re-entering the workforce, and it is like maybe after maternity leave or whatever, it's where their confidence is at a low. Because these self-doubts as, am I still relevant? Have things moved on? And, the world's moving on very quickly, especially around technology. I mean, you're out of the workforce for a few years, technology.
Oh,
if you're entering the workforce now after just having 12 months off, AI wasn't around when you
12
left.
months ago.
So I think it's appreciating that your skills are still relevant.
And experience.
And your experience is relevant, and a lot of your skills
transferable
skills. There could be a few things like technology that you need to move on, or they've changed the operating system. So that would be going back to what we spoke about if you're entering the workforce, like be a sponge, ask questions and learn.
And also while you're out of the workplace, most people are still trying to stay connected with what's going on. Yeah. So they're reading about AI or
absolutely.
They're doing small courses. So those are good things as well. So you're not coming in totally blind.
No. Well, you shouldn't think so. I think that one of the other things when you re-enter the workforce, and this is probably because potentially the most common scenario is after looking after children or maybe a health issue or something like that, is be very clear on your boundaries.
Yeah.
Because, for example, if you are coming back after paternity leave and still got young kids, you can't go back into the ridiculousness of working bloody 60.
And you don't want to.
No, yeah.
And you don't want to. Even if you're re-entering the workforce and you've got no caring responsibilities at home, self-care is pretty important.
Yeah.
And no job, remember, it's a transaction.
Yes.
You shouldn't be working 12-hour days. So setting those boundaries is really smart. But a good way to actually, or a good step prior to that, is to be very clear on the culture and the leadership you're going to. Yeah. So choose that. Ask the questions. Is flexibility a thing here? What does success look like here? As a leader, can you help me understand what your style is?
Yeah.
I mean, the questions you ask in those early stages, you should be interviewing them as much as they're interviewing you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want to be set up for success.
We talked about the young generation, the flexible working conditions are just
awesome.
And those conversations they're expected and they're being held. But knowing your boundaries. I've got this actually great activity. Maybe that's another podcast episodes. It's around your non-negotiables.
Yeah, nice.
Know your negotiables and know your non-negotiables. Understand what you're prepared to lose from that and what you can gain from it. I reckon that's a whole
That
other
is- that
podcast
is.
episode we
And
can do on that.
I do some work with my coaching clients when we talk about what's coming up, what's, you know, what do they want to work in next, and they go, I don't know, and I say, well, tell me what you don't want, and they always know what they don't
Yeah.
want. So it's a good starting point,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So that's a good one. Know your non-negotiables.
Absolutely,
We'll do that.
So, and I think just the other thing, and this maybe appeal to both things, it's around this whole conversation around passion versus skills.
Oh yes,
Like people
There's a
go,
lot of
I
talk
want to
about
do
that.
what I'm passionate about. I want to do what I'm passionate.
What, drink wine? Wild Duck Creek wine all day. Can we pay you for that, Raoul?
Well, that's a skill.
It's a skill.
Skill not to spill it.
Not to waste it.
I think sometimes when you're entering the workforce, you just got to do what you're good at.
Yeah. Professor Scott Galloway, who I'm a massive fangirl of, talks about this. He says your passion very rarely will pay. Yeah, that's your
Yeah.
hobby. That's the thing that you love to do.
Oh, that's right. He does
You might
say
be
that.
quite good at it, but if it's acting or it's music, those industries are tough, yeah?
Yeah.
Whereas if you've got skills and experience and you're doing things you're good at that you can get paid for, that's what'll get you through.
Yeah.
Keep your passion points for weekends and after hours.
And I think
yeah?
it's just throw yourself into the job you've got at the
Yeah.
time. I
Make the
remember when
most
I
of it.
first started, one of my very first jobs was it was a grad program at NAB and in IT. So,
Yeah. That's cool.
the first year, like this was mainframe computer operators, pretty much the job was as the trainee computer operator, you either spent your whole 8-hour shift in the print room
Like a mushroom.
changing yes, or the tape room, and that was pretty dark. That was a mushroom. What is it? Kept in the dark and fed shit.
Yes.
But I used to go, oh, that's not the job I wanted, just changing print paper and changing tapes. But you know what? I just it was
Yeah.
so much fun.
Oh, I bet. But you
And you
also
made
have
it
to
fun.
start somewhere,
You've got to
right?
start
You've got
somewhere.
to start somewhere. You've got to learn something. It's like some of these, CEOs of retail organisations started by collecting the trolleys,
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. But you're right.
You've got
But
to
embrace it with positivity.
Embrace it with
optimism
positivity.
and say, how do I use this?
Yeah. And you're learning. And I remember being in the tape room or the printer room, and often my colleague with me was the most senior person on the shift. And so they would do that. And, you're
access
learning
to
valuable
some-
skills.
And get access to some pretty amazing people.
Absolutely. And even if it's just learning teamwork or responsibility
still
or
learning.
accountability and all those things. So I think don't expect, especially when you start off in a job, that you're going to be doing your passion.
No, or that you're going to be the CEO the next week. Yeah.
No.
So I think with some young people, it's like, well, I have expectations of where I need to be. Don't be in so much of a hurry that you expect things that are unrealistic. You are going to have to put in the time, the effort. You are going to have to put in the hours. You are going to get to do some of the shit stuff. But that's okay.
That's okay.
It's all part
That's
of it.
okay. And, it's not – I think maybe in our career, like maybe people did a shit job for 10 years before they did a
Yeah,
job.
well,
they
now
liked.
it's 12 months.
I mean, you don't want to do that, but, there's going to be
Yep.
and make it fun.
Make it
and
fun.
just if you do
And
it,
have a good attitude.
Yeah, have a
about
good
that.
attitude. Choose your attitude. There's another bloody episode you should
podcast we've
podcast
done.
episode you should listen to that
Yep.
on choose your attitude. Well, I think
Yeah.
I
Entering and re-entering the workforce. What's interesting, have you noticed? We spoke about entering the workforce, the 5 C's, curiosity, clarification, convey, complement, connect. And then we spoke about re-entering the workforce and recognising that your skills are still relevant, but you need to set your boundaries, choose your culture, your leader. And then if I was to follow on with re-entering, it's also be curious, clarify, convey, complement, connect. So those 5 C's are actually relevant right through if you're
Right through.
entering or re-entering.
right through. Those 5 C's could actually just be even changing jobs,
That's
changing
very true.
careers. So
Very
yeah.
true. Good
Yeah.
point. Good
Yeah.
advice, Raoul.
Okay, team. Hopefully this has been of value. Another good episode. If you're entering or re-entering the workforce, we've spoken about Wild Duck Creek Estate, haven't we?
We have.
We
but
have,
We
but-
could mention it again.
Mention again. Go to the website. Put in keepers.
Enjoy
Get-
this
there's
awesome premium
bloody good,
product.
Bloody good offerings in there.
The Andersons
and again,
at Heathcote, they make the best wine.
we often talk about it's premium wine. That doesn't mean it's really expensive.
No.
because
Oh,
this
gosh,
is
no, the value is
for,
incredible.
$25. Bloody hell! Do yourself
Brilliant.
a favour
Beautiful wine.
and get stuck into it. Okay. If you've found this of value, share with others as usual. 5-star rating as usual. All the usual stuff. But we're not usual.
Oh, hell no.
Freaking unusual, mate.
Gosh, she's rude to me, isn't she? All right, keepers, thank you so much for another episode of Keeping It Real with Jack and Rahl. We'll see you next time. Bye.
You've been listening to another episode of Keeping It Real with Jack and Rahl. If you like what you've heard, don't forget to tell others about it and give a 5-star review. They may seem confident, but they really are sensitive 5-star needy souls. Yeah, right. Keeping It Real, created by Jack Phillips and Gabriel Dolan. Produced by Keehlan Ferrari-Brown. And this really real voiceover, spoken by Richard Phillips.